You guys, real estate is forgiving. You know, if you do a deal that isn't like incredible, you're gonna be okay. You can sell it. You can hold on to it. We've had flips we've decided to hang on to because they went bad. You know, so you're in the right place. You can totally do this. The worst thing is if you sit there and don't do anything. So change your future, you guys.
So we have a fast growth panel. I'm going to say a lot of people on the fast growth panel are out-of-state investors. A lot of people on the out-of-state investors panel are on a fast growth path. This just gives us a topic to talk about. I'm going to like get straight to it. But if you guys can take like 30 seconds and tell us what did you do before real estate, your portfolio size, and maybe one thing about yourselves, whatever you want, something to share. You guys want to start, Ann and Randy?
Randy and Ann Betts, we live in Michigan. I was a business owner for 20 plus years in credit, so credit reporting, that kind of thing. Never so happy to be out of that business now. And I'll let Ann go with it.
So I was a stay-at-home mom for 12 years. Yeah, stay-at-home moms. And then I was an associate pastor, I was an accounting manager, and I was about to buy a manufacturing company. I was on a 1.5-year long search to buy a manufacturing company when I'm like, do I really want to answer to a board? And I'm like, no. So anyway, that's why we moved into real estate or kind of started to look at real estate. But our portfolio, we've been in for almost 2 years. Our portfolio, we have 15 doors, 15 properties, 19 doors, a little over 3 million in ARV. And we do flips too, so love it.
Hey guys, I'm Andrew. I still do what I was doing before real estate. I work for a W-2 at a global payments company. I've been there for almost 26 years, which is really freaking crazy. So I love to say I don't know if I'm committed or need to be committed for being there that long. And I've still got a few more years left. I was just telling Garish that I've got to get the kids through college, and then I can move on. My portfolio is 1.8 million with, and I'll steal Vanessa's line, my equity is $550,000.
So we are Apurva and Suraj, and we are basically based out of Seattle, Washington. I used to be a product manager, but I left my job this year in June, and I'm a full-time real estate investor and an agent now. I'll let Suraj talk about him.
So I'm a software dev manager at Amazon, and then on the side, like through Apurva, we've been able to invest. Our portfolio size is 1.2 with 5 properties, 4 in Columbus, Ohio, 1 in Tampa, Florida. And then we bought our primary to be a live-in flip. It's a 60-year-old estate sale. We've been working through that project for over a year. And if we add that, takes us past 2.2 or something. So we bought it with the intention, it was very intentional purchase. I think most people know here 1960s houses are split level. And I used to tell Apurva that never, ever, I'm going to buy a split level, not me. She would bring these houses and I'd be like, I don't think it's worth even going and walking because I can't see myself living in a split level house. It used to be that bad, I wouldn't even go watch it. But then this house comes along, 60-year-old estate sale. And then it's a 18,000 square feet lot and the house sits right at the back. So with anybody who knows anything about Seattle, they are trying to promote dense housing. There is opportunity to subplat and stuff. And when the numbers were just making sense, I'm like, heck with it. Let's put an offer and let's get on with this one. So that's how.
Can I add something? We actually got ADU created within the house. So now that's also like a house hack that we are doing in that house.
It's a house hack bar.
Yes.
So the bottom, so in a split level, the basement one has been created into its own little space, and then we have opportunity to subplat and add a couple of townhouses, on the front side, and the whole thing has got when we talk to folks like Rami once mentioned, I'm only buying these houses to do 1031 into a motel or a hotel, right? And I'm like, the ideas are crazy, the creativity is unbelievable. So that's how we started, and that's where we are.
Within that particular house, we have built an equity of about 300K just because we bought it for an estate sale for $850, and now and put it about $150K, and now the ARV is about 1.3.
Fantastic, love it. All right, so I'm gonna ask my next question to Ann. What's your #1 advice for anyone just getting started? Maybe they have 1 property two properties, what's like the one thing you would tell them? Oh, you're like, do I have to pick one?
I'm
One
thinking.
Yeah, one or a couple.
Just keep going. I think you're going to have challenges. We've had so many challenges. Like we could probably write a couple of novels about all the challenges. And those of you that have properties, you're going to have stuff. So I think the best piece of advice I can think of is that you can overcome any challenge. It doesn't matter how scary it is, how big it seems. You can overcome it. There's always an answer. You've got the support of this incredible group. They've probably dealt with a similar situation. So just move forward and know that you can overcome anything that's hard, difficult, and scary.
I love that. What about you, Randy? Do you have anything else to add?
I would kind of want to add on to that, just that we have gone through a lot of challenges, but now I think back and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So kind of once they seem really big at the time, when you're going through something that you didn't count on, but once you churn through that, it doesn't take very long, and you almost forget that you ran into that big challenge, and so they seem really big now, but through the perspective of time, they get much smaller, and you will have piled on a lot more success, after that in many different ways. So just keep going. Yeah.
What about you, Andrew?
Normally, I'd be talking about affirmational type things like these guys are, but I would say, having a really good, strong team that knows how to work together. It's funny, Brian and I were talking last night, and I didn't meet my realtor first. I met my contractor first. Ooh. I actually had a different realtor, and he said, I'm sure that person's fine. I don't know that person. You okay? I'm sorry. I'm sure that person's fine, but I don't know them. I can't vouch for them. But have you met this guy? He goes, just talk to him. You may not even want to work with him. And I had a conversation, after that I had a conversation with my realtor, and this is after I did my first deal, which was out of state, which was really bad financially, but I learned a ton. But when my realtor helped me simplify the numbers, which were all there in the spreadsheet, but the analysis spreadsheet was overwhelming to my brain, right? I needed to really, I'll say dumb it down, because I like simple things. But then he showed me a simpler way for me to analyze the deals. And not only that, he knows the city so well that, and Alejandra's shaking her head because we use the same realtor. He goes and, it almost might seem like I'm an out-of-state investor, because the last 3 properties I bought, I never walked into them until after I bought them. Because my realtor went there and he checked them out for me. And I trust him and I trust my GC so much. Having a strong team is key, including your lender, Brian.
Suraj, I want to go to you. I still remember those words from when either you guys were on a Sensei panel or we did a Sensei session. And I still remember Suraj was like, you see this in the Facebook group. Everybody is forging ahead. And I just love that. And these are the kind of things that stick with you when you go through a little bit of a rough patch or when you're just questioning yourself, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? What's your advice for people who are just getting started? Like, what would you tell them?
Yeah, couple of things. So first is try to seek diverse opinion. So, all of us get into a doom loop, that like if things don't go right or like, we're not able to find the zip code and stuff, and it just perpetuates a lot. So try to seek diverse opinion, talk to a lot of, the community has a lot of folks to talk to a lot of people. So that will help. And then also, I would say take action. Don't sit on the fence. Like, you guys have paid a lot of money to be here, learn, and then allow other people to set pace. But your journey is your own journey. Don't compare yourself with others. Compare yourself with yourself last year or yourself where you want to be next year. So everybody has different superpowers. Like Apurva's superpower are not same as mine. Anne's superpower is not same as Andrew's. So everybody will have their own pace, their own journey. So yeah, take action and compare yourself with only yourself and nobody else.
I love it. What about you, Apurva? What's your advice for someone who's like, maybe they have a property, 2 properties. What's your advice?
So if you already have 1 or 2 properties, I would say just make sure that you have the right team in place. Always add more people to your team, because when you're planning to scale fast, you want to have more people coming to you and helping you with finding deals, more contractors in place. And you always find, first time you build a team, they're not going to be the best team ever. You always refine your team as you go through it. Try to automate your processes in terms of like property management. Try to have, like we discussed Rent Ready as one of the portals, right? So try to automate your processes using some systems like Rent Ready, where you can do rent collections, send reminders, leases, and all of these things. So try to automate your processes and try to get more people in your team and ways you can funnel the deals in. So I think that would help them grow fast.
Love it. I love it. How did you make decisions when you first started or hadn't started, and how has your decision-making process changed? Because I feel like So as this decision making is a good skill to have, but as a business owner and as an investor, that is where the money is. That is where everything is, right? How has your decision making process changed from where you were before versus now? Randy, you're nodding your head. Do you want? Sorry.
Yeah, what I would say is, and I'm guilty of this, maybe getting a little too emotionally attached. So at the very beginning, made decisions a little bit more emotionally, like, oh, I really like this house. Now the number's terrible, but I really like this house. But we have learned, and mainly because Ann would always admonish me, don't get emotionally attached. She was good at it. So I think I have come further in that now in terms of, no, the numbers have to work. I really like the house, but we're going to pass on it because it's not good for business. So I think that's probably the biggest change.
Oh, I love that. It's like isn't it, I always compare real estate investing to having kids. Isn't it like your first one, they don't walk on time and you're freaking out, but then I only have 2, but I assume that when you have like 7, 8 kids, by the time you have your 8th one, you're like, oh yeah, you'll walk. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me with the first kid, if they sneeze, you lose sleep. With the second one, you're like, yeah, he's breathing. Yeah, he's breathing.
Yes.
That's all right, he's breathing.
It's the same thing with investing, right? Like the more properties you have and the more deals you do, that's what it sounded like to me. Like, it's like, oh, I'm not as emotionally attached to this kid anymore. I'm good. Apurva, were you going to say something? Or no. Oh.
I think in terms of decision making for me, I've gotten faster, right? I don't, like I said, I simplified it, and that simplification allows me to go, well, nope, move on, right? And I don't dwell on it. I keep going. Because sometimes, Palak, you talk about this early on, right? How do you get a deal, right? You're the first one in. You have the best terms, right? And it's like, well, sometimes you have to make a decision with speed if you think this is going to work, right? And if you dwell on it, it could be gone. So
faster. You've gotten faster. Oh, I love that.
I think for us, I think Bigger Pockets has done us wonders, but I think there is part of Bigger Pockets where people start chasing number of doors. And for us, the big shift that has been is initially we wanted to just get some doors under our belt. Because you go through the whole creating your brand, module in Palak's program. We've got a website, we've got, visiting cards, you name it. But every time I would call anybody and I'd be like, hey, I'm an investor, and I'd be so sheepish in my voice that I can't convince, myself that I'm an investor. Forget about the person across, yeah, another investor, yeah. So the biggest change, has been I've started owning the line that I'm an investor.
Oh,
and the second thing is that, initially, I was chasing the number of doors, but now, was said earlier that the numbers need to make sense, and I want to be the, small and mighty investor. Even if I have fewer doors, they need to make sense. I'm not going to buy in blocks where numbers work, but it'll be harder to, rent those places out or give me a headache or management issues or, too many break-ins.
Would you say you've gotten more picky about the deals now?
Correct, because now I know I'm an investor. I don't need to prove it. Before it was I'm zero. I need to get something, I need to get going, just buy anything. Now I'm like, hey, I know what does a door cost and a window cost and a roof cost and the price per square feet of flooring or whatever. I'm not proving it to anybody. I don't need X numbers, behind me in my portfolio. I just strategically and tactically want properties that make sense. So being very selective. Before it was a little pseudo Instagram investor, because you're
there's nothing wrong.
in Wolf clothing because I'm just pretending to be an investor. Now I know I am. So
and there is a sense of anybody else who's just started investing have the imposter syndrome a little bit. Yeah. And there's a lot of mindset work and all that is great, but imposter syndrome doesn't just go away with mindset work. It goes away with repetition. And some of us need to repeat it a few more times for it to go away because we're just harder on ourselves, right? We want it to be 100% by the time you'll have 5 doors, you will be easily able to say I'm an investor and nobody can question it, right? But I love that that you said that in Instagram investor. We all have that imposter syndrome when you're first starting out, and the more you repeat it, the more comfortable it's going to get.
Palak, you know what? One thing I'll say though, in terms of when you're just starting out, it's okay to say you're learning, right? When I first started, when I talked to my GC, when I talked to my realtor, the first time I talked to Brian, I said, I am just starting in this, right? But this is what my long game looks like, and I think it's okay to say that. Right? It's, so you don't have to feel like an imposter, right? Hey, I'm beginning, I'm learning, right? I'm going to make mistakes. Hopefully you can guide me, right? Because people love to feel needed, right? And if you find the right people that you develop your team around, they're going to help you.
Oh, I love that. So in the interest of time, we're keeping this panel short. It's the best, but we're keeping it short. I would love to get last few words of wisdom from Ann and Randy. She wasn't, you said associate pastor? I thought you were a pastor, associate pastor.
I say associate. I mean, I was one of the pastors. Was not the lead pastor, but one of the pastors of a large church. But I did all the finances, the background kind of stuff. Yeah.
Who else but to give us last few words of wisdom? What would you tell someone as they're leaving this conference?
Yeah.
What is it that they can take away?
You guys are in the right place. You're here for a reason. You either are checking out this program or you invested in this program because you want more, you want something different. You're not satisfied with the status quo. And so I hope you're encouraged, by what you've heard and the people that you've spoken to. You can do it. The only way you're going to fail at this is if you don't try. And one of the things, and it ties into Palak's previous question, Nidia has said it and my husband has said it, you guys, real estate is forgiving. If you do a deal that isn't incredible, you're going to be okay. You can sell it. You can hold on to it. We've had flips we've decided to hang on to because they went bad. So you're in the right place. You can totally do this. The worst thing is if you sit there and don't do anything. So change your future, you guys.
Yeah, I love that. You want to add anything? No.
I'm not sure I can really add anything to that.
Yeah, who can
but,
top that?
One of the things that actually Apurva said, and I don't think you can underscore that enough, and that is in order to scale, and that's what this whole panel was about, and I just think that was really great what you said. You've got to tighten up all the details. Everything's got to be tight because as you scale, cracks in the process will get huge. It's like stretching the fabric, right? So make sure that you've got all the right people on your team, and your team will change. We have found that. And so I really want to underscore, I think you really nailed it. So that was excellent.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you guys for doing this.
When you're ready to get serious, you can join us at theinvestoraccelerator.com.
It's like getting 1,000 episodes worth of information in 5 days, and it's everything you need to build your actionable plan to financial freedom and making work optional.